My name is Roua. I am a light heavyweight bodybuilder, possibly heavyweight this year. Right now, I weigh 209 pounds, 5'11", and I am 11 days out from the 2014 Central States. Last year was my first show that I ever done, and that was also the Central States, where I came in as a light heavy. I was 194. I placed 6th out of 13, if I remember right. Obviously, this year I packed on a couple pounds, so hopefully I already feel better now than I did show day last year. So that's a good sign, making progression. Hopefully I can place this year.
This is your second show ever?
Yeah, second show.
Okay, good deal. And this is the same show as the 2014 Central States?
Yep, it's the same show, just 1 year later.
Okay. And how much weight have you put on, do you think, about like over the past year? Probably?
Well, of lean muscle, I don't know. I would say at least 5 to 8 pounds, I'm going to guess.
Okay.
It's hard to tell just because I'm not fully at peak week yet. I still have 11 days, so I don't know exactly where I'll stand on stage. Like I said, it might be a heavyweight this year. Still not exactly sure. Hoping to make light heavy, but wherever I'll place, I'll place.
So today you did a back workout, bud?
Yep.
And,
Tuesdays are my back.
Go ahead and take us through your workout and the movements and what you like about those movements.
All right. Well, this isn't my regular gym, so I wanted to try out a couple different things. They have a lot of hammer strength stuff here, and I like those machines. And back in my gym in East Lansing, we don't have many of those. So I did a lot of those today. I started out with hammer strength lat pull downs. It's basically a lat movement. It's just a single arm, but I used both just to get the squeeze. I like the hammer strength for that main reason. I get a good squeeze, and being 11 days out, I'm not really moving a ton of weight, so I'm just really trying to focus on the contraction. Just try to bring out every fiber I can. Hopefully, makes a difference for showtime. So I think I did 4 sets here. Just to start it with a warm up. Went through movements. I'll usually stick to about 10 to 12 reps. I think at the beginning I did a couple more just because I was warming up, 15 I believe. But I'll stay pretty high reps with a decent amount of weight, not too heavy and not too light, but just to keep the muscle pumped, get blood flowing in there, moving around a little bit. Next movement we went over to, wasn't a hammer strength, it was a bent over barbell row. I usually do this almost every back day. I feel like it's a good movement for mass builder. Not really much of a definition exercise, but I always like doing this. Just again, focusing on the squeeze, the contraction. That was my main thing. These last couple weeks for prep, just slow, controlled movements, pretty much for everything. I did 3 sets here, 10 to 12. Increasing weight pretty much every set. That's usually how I work out, even in the off season. I'll always just pyramid up. Next exercise, it's another movement that I usually do at my other gym too, seated rows. I like it just because it's a different hand grip. It's more like, it's more close grip, so it hits more inner back, I feel, inner lats. Also gets lower lats in there a little bit too, so that's good. I usually keep the handle closer, lower on my torso, so I can hit the lower lats a little bit. I feel like that might be a part that I'm lacking, and that a big part that amateur bodybuilders lack are the lower lats, so try to work on those a little bit. Same thing with reps, everything else. Next movement I did was a rope pull down. I really like this movement for the main reason that it really hits your really, really high upper lat, right where the armpit area is. I usually alternate between rope and a straight bar every other week when I do these. This is also a movement I usually do every time I do back. For that main reason, it's an area of the lats that you don't really hit often, so I like to keep it working every week. The same thing with this, slow, controlled, just like everything else. Next movement we went to was one arm hammer strength row. And usually I'll always do a type of movement that involves just one hand. And usually it'll be dumbbells. But again, this time we're at a different gym. It's new here for me. I wanted to try the hammer strength. It's a good, if you get a good contraction of it, you can focus on squeezing it instead of just hoisting the weight, whereas the free weight is. So yeah, I just took it slow here. Started off with pretty light, not too heavy, and I just worked my way up a little bit. Even at the end, it wasn't super heavy, but it's just enough weight to get the muscle moving, feeling it, get the blood in there. And then we also hit some biceps today. Not too much, just a little supplementary workout. We did some seated preacher curls. It's a pretty standard machine. It's just like just a preacher curl, except it's hooked up to a cable on a machine with weights. I always like having a quick second squeeze on this movement. I feel like that's the whole reason of what preacher is, just to feel the contraction again. So nothing too fancy here. And then we just moved over the next exercise to alternating dumbbell curls. Every time I do biceps, it'll be the same thing. I'll usually go one movement two hand, the next movement one hand, and back and forth, involving dumbbells, straight bars, machines, cables, whatever. It's always something different, just to keep the muscle, keep it guessing. I never like to do the same movements. Some kind of differentiation. And that's pretty much it for today. Not too much. I'm keeping decent volume, not too heavy of a workload, just because I am pretty depleted right now. I don't want the energy. It sucks right now. Not too many carbs. It's 11 more days, so I'll start lifting heavy after.
Okay. What was your diet like for this year, buddy, going into the show?
Well, I got a new coach this year. He started me off. I started dieting about 18 weeks. I started pretty high. If I remember right, it was about 300 carbs, 300 protein, and then I think it was about 84 fats. It was a little over 3,000 calories, I think. I started with that, and that I kept that up until I think it was about 10 weeks. Then I switched it up. He dropped me down to about, I think it was about 240 carbs, so not much of a drop, just 60. My meals have always been six meals a day. So the second phase dropped me down to about 260 carbs. He upped the protein. I think it was about 340, and the fat stayed the same. And then the last phase that I changed was about 5 weeks out, and I've been on that, and I still am on the same amount, 160 carbs, 360 protein, and 60 fats. And it's been pretty hard just because of the carbs. And I think the worst part about it is because I'm type 1 diabetic. My body's so used to having carbs in it consistently, not necessarily a huge amount, just consistently. And the fact is I only have, my first 4 meals of the day are all carbs, and the last 2 aren't. It's just protein and fats. So my sugar kind of drops a little bit. Even without insulin, it'll drop unexpectedly, especially overnight. It makes it hard sometimes to wake up and be fasted. But, I expected it. Last year was kind of the same thing. This year it's a little bit harder, I think, just because I am about 10 pounds heavier than when I was last year, 11 days out, I would say. So I can definitely feel the difference. But I've been getting used to it, the carb amount, trying to adjust my insulin doses and all that, just to stay healthy. Like, every time I go to the doctor, they always... I always tell them that I'm switching my diet up so much with this and that, and they always try to warn me of stuff. But yeah, I get it. It gets hard sometimes.
But they're not used to working a lot of bodybuilders, I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly. That's the whole thing. The whole bodybuilding thing is like, they recommend this amount of carbs throughout your whole life.
Yeah.
And I'm changing it every couple of weeks, so.
Yeah.
But I've gotten used to it. I think I've done a pretty good job ever since I started bodybuilding, controlling my sugar and just being healthy, because I get tested for the diabetes. I get blood tests every 6 months, and I've never had a problem ever since. I've been diabetic since I was 12. And yeah, the A1C with hemoglobin, yep. That's been pretty good, so.
Good deal. That's good to hear. And now you're only 23, bud, right?
Yeah, okay. 23.
You look, for your age, you're definitely, I think, ahead of the game for your age and everything. What got you into the industry, bud, or what did you like about the sport thing?
Well, that's the whole reason I got into fitness was because I was diabetic at such a young age. Doctors always warned me, like, it's easy to become obese, and lose your feet and lose your hands and just just stuff that scared me. And I was always a skinny kid growing up and stuff like that. So I got into fitness. I started working out, lifting, and then I kind of thought to myself, like, well, I gotta have a bigger purpose to this. And I always wanted to compete, and I just kept putting on size. And last year, I finally decided I needed to start competing, so I dieted down. Last year I lost 66 pounds total. Because it was the first cut ever, first everything. I was 260, and I ended up at 194. So this year it was a little better. I started leaner. I think I started like 240. Definitely with more muscle mass and all that. So that's the whole reason I got into it, just to stay healthy, be in good shape, because it's easy for me in my lifestyle to become, I guess it's easy to become out of shape. So that's what I always wanted to do, just to stay healthy for the most part. And ever since I started bodybuilding, I like it. It's fun. It challenges me. It disciplines you, that's for sure. That's probably the biggest part. If you can do this, you can do a lot of things, discipline-wise. So yeah.
Good deal, man. Okay, well, good luck. 11 days out, but hope you kick ass, and definitely made big improvements, at least from me seeing you as opposed to last year on stage. I think you're doing well. You definitely have more size. It looks like your legs came up and are definitely more conditioned, so it should be a good show.
Yeah.
For you, I think.
Yep. Thank you.